this a lot. What is new that you have learned that you feel that now you can do, or something that you haven't done before, you feel for the first time, and for the new people, what you have learned, and what questions do you have at this time? That during the training, we do not allow you to ask because we have to be focused. We do not want to be distracted. And you see that for people who do not know, my teaching is very difficult because my mind jumps all over the place. But once you get used to it, I always stick to one line and branch off, come back, branch off, come back, and move like that. You stay on one topic, and you will follow the principle of doing something wrong and repeat it. How do you say that line again this morning? Repeating something that you are crazy.
If you keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting the result to be different, is the definition of insanity.
And you have to be that crazy, but not that crazy. You have to stay on the topic, but do it differently. See whether there is a change. But if you do it differently, you're doing something else. Now that's totally crazy, insane and crazy. You change the method to try it, but you have to be doing the same thing until you find a method. And this is our practical method. Always on the same topic, but every time we'll try a different way, hoping that this time you understand this one. So from day one to today, we're still doing the same thing. That's our approach. If you don't understand why your learning becomes more and more confusing, it's because you haven't clicked onto this method yet. This is the method we use. So anyways, the teaching is over. Thanks for coming to the workshop. We have a little bit of time. You can ask questions that were not allowed to ask before. It's like the shape of the moon. Whether there are aliens, it's fine. Yes.
So for us beginners.
What's your name and tell everybody?
Yeah, I'm Rand, and I have a question. So I want to say, like, for us beginners, right? So we've never been here before, we've never practiced Chen Zhao. So what's the one thing you think you should do, like, by yourself at home, right? And then just one thing, if you
Nothing by yourself at home.
Nothing by yourself.
Do a class, learn the form,
Okay.
then train at home.
So
And even if it's too difficult, do an online class. You have to learn the basics, so then you can train. You cannot train things you don't know. And coming to class is the easiest. It's, I would say, 20 times more efficient. You can learn it quickly. You learn it by yourself. It's just, sure, I can do it. I can play the video again and again. And some people are okay. Most of us, this is too boring. Somebody can show you the move right away. So anyways, but it suits yourself. As long as you know the form, you can train.
thank you.
Yes.
Woody, for those who don't know. In the beginning, I'm relatively new, about 8 months. And the foundational exercises that you were doing, issuing power yesterday, when we were issuing. How often should someone new practice that way compared to slower?
Oh, with the power?
Yeah. The way we were doing it yesterday in the morning. But when we open, like,
It's
reject
an
the open.
irrelevant question.
I'm sorry?
Irrelevant question.
In what way?
Some can do it right away.
Okay.
Others, beginners, they can't put their arm, they don't know where left is. Don't issue power. And when you are roughly there, you issue power, you're not right, that doesn't matter. We're not right either. You have to be in the ballpark. There are people who are not even, you can't issue power unless like this. And if you have done another martial art, your body is fairly together, doesn't look like Tai Chi, it doesn't matter. Because you have a type of body control and integrity, then you can do it. Any other questions?
Well, comment, anything else? My name's Ray, again, for those of you who don't know. Been doing this for a while, and I've always had a difficult time understanding how to move the quad. Today, it felt, I need a lot more, but it felt like now I have a clearer path. Sometimes I got lucky and actually got something.
Okay, yeah, let me talk about the Hua in relation to the knee. These two joints are very important in practical method. the system for knee and qua is that the knee should not be used, the qua should be used. In our daily life, normal modern people will never use the qua, will always use the knee. And not only normal people, doctors will tell you that, to use the knee, don't use the qua. So I can't give you advice, I don't want to go against the law. But the bottom line is, when you open the qua, you are taking the pressure, the load off your knees, and your knees will not take the pressure. When I say no use, it means don't put pressure on it. The qua loves power and rotation and movements. You give them more, the two quads will last 500 years. And if you don't use them, they will always have to be replaced. And you can find these examples in life. Certain things, the more you use them, they become better. Others don't use them. Preserve them, because you use them, they're going to be busted. They're like that. The qua loves to be used. Yes.
This is more of a theory question for some of the lessons. If we talk about this structure
Yeah.
a lot, and also I've heard about this. If you take this and this together and make the two ends match, for example, this move
Yeah.
that you did earlier, are we driving the elbows and the joints into the line here, or are we thinking, or the intent is to pull this end against this end? Or don't ask that question.
Mike warned me against that question. Everything is changing all the time, especially when you change your way of thinking to application. In application, there's nothing fixed. Everything evolves. But you have to only train according to a template. So when you're doing this template, you lock the two elbows, and along the same line, you push the tip down, and this gives you power. But when you are doing application, you go halfway here, he doesn't do anything anymore, you need to do this. You're moving the elbows so the tip can drop. And it's one and the same, because situations change, but that's why every move has two methods. So this move actually is, when the L side is locked, I push the top. But I lock the top hard, you just split my elbow. And I can't lock this. Whatever I do is useless. This is everything has two sides. And when you train, you do not ask about the two sides. Which one you are training, you do a good job of. Because you're always the same as I was saying. The people actually this weekend asked, when you're sharpening your knife, how do you know it will work? Don't try it, no need. Just sharpen it. There's a standard that you blow hair on it, the hair splits into two, that means it's sharp. You don't need to go to another sword and do this, because you do that, it's a good test, but after you do that, you have to resharpen it, it's used. You have to do it again. And you do that just for that one usage. So never worry about your opponent, do your job. Never worry, the proper learning is never worry about what if. Now, you do it on YouTube. I also have a YouTube channel, but I'm more on TikTok. And I do this move. And let's say through shabar on the floor. I use that clip. And somebody says, what if he doesn't stand there? What if there's no earth?
Right. What if he disappears?
What do you mean? Like, what if he doesn't stand there? I just showed you he stands there, we're testing a technique. Your question is, what if he doesn't stand there? You are so smart, it's irrelevant.